You are not lazy. You may simply be carrying too many unfinished things at once. So, before we go any further, here's the deal. Give me the next 8 minutes. By the end, you'll know what an open loop is, why small unfinished things can drain you more than big completed ones, and what to do about it tonight. No new productivity system, no complete life overhaul, just one sheet of paper. Start counting while I speak, the message you still haven't answered, the appointment you need to book, the bill you haven't checked, the repair you said you would arrange, the decision you keep postponing, the document that's almost finished, and the conversation you've already had 20 times in your head but never once in the room. Keep counting. Most of these things aren't difficult on their own. That's what makes the shame worse. You look at a task that should take 10 minutes, you avoid it for 3 days, then you stop judging the task and start judging yourself. You tell yourself you've become careless, undisciplined, lazy. But there may be another explanation. Your mind isn't refusing to work. It may be trying to keep too many promises alive at the same time. I call them open loops. An open loop is anything your mind believes is unfinished and still belongs to you. A task, a decision, a promise, a conversation, anything you haven't completed, scheduled, handed over, or consciously dropped. It stays open because your mind doesn't know what happens next, and when the next step is unclear, your mind keeps checking. Don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. Researchers studying unfinished goals found that they can remain mentally active even while we try to focus on something else. Research on task switching found something similar. Part of your attention can stay attached to the last unfinished task even after you've moved on. That leftover pull is sometimes called attention residue. You already know what it feels like. You finish a meeting, but your mind is still arguing with something that was said. You open a document, but part of you is still thinking about the message you didn't answer. You sit with your family, but your head is back inside a problem at work. Physically, you're in one place. Mentally, your attention is spread across several unfinished places. From the outside, that can look like laziness because there's so little visible movement. Inside, you're constantly switching, holding, checking, and rehearsing. There are four kinds of open loops that tend to create the most weight. The first is a task with no clear next action. Fix my finances, sort out my health, deal with the house, work on my career. Those sound like tasks. They're not. They're entire territories. Your mind can't complete a territory. It needs something physical and specific. Open the latest bank statement. Call the clinic. Ask the electrician for a quote. Rewrite the first paragraph of the resume. When the next action is unclear, you have to solve the task again every time you remember it. That repeated thinking becomes part of the load. The second open loop is a decision with no deadline. Should I stay? Should I leave? Should I buy it? Should I wait? Should I say something? Should I let it go? A difficult decision may need time, but a decision with no date can quietly occupy every date. You keep returning to it, you replay both outcomes, you ask the same questions, and nothing changes because you haven't decided when the decision will actually be made. Indecision feels safer because you haven't chosen the wrong option, but it charges you every day. The third open loop is a promise stored only in your head. You told your manager you'd send the update. You told your family you'd arrange the repair. You told yourself you'd book the test. There's no calendar entry, no reminder, no written list. Your memory is the only system protecting the promise, so part of your attention keeps checking whether you've forgotten it. Writing something down isn't a sign that your mind is weak, it's a refusal to use your mind as a storage cupboard. The fourth open loop is the conversation you're avoiding, a boundary you haven't set, an apology you haven't made, a question you're frightened to ask, a truth you keep editing before you say it. The actual conversation may take 15 minutes. You can spend 3 months rehearsing it. And because nothing visible is happening, you accuse yourself of doing nothing. But avoidance is work. It uses attention. It creates tension. It asks you to keep remembering what you're not saying. Here's the part most people miss. The heaviest open loop isn't always the biggest job. It's usually the job with no next action, no decision, and no place in time. That's why a 2-minute email can feel heavier than a 2-hour meeting. The typing isn't the problem. The uncertainty is, what should I say? How will they react? What happens after I send it? So you avoid the email, then you carry the email, then you call yourself lazy for carrying it. The task creates pressure. The judgment doubles it. Now, the unfinished thing is no longer just something you need to do. It starts to feel like evidence against your character. This is where we need to be honest. Overload can explain your behavior. It can't make every responsibility disappear. Some things still need action. Some people are genuinely waiting for you. Understanding the mechanism isn't permission to abandon the load. It's a way to stop carrying it badly. Responsibility doesn't mean keeping every demand alive inside your head. Responsibility means deciding what each demand deserves. Some things need to be done. Some need a date, some need another owner, some need an honest no, and some need to be dropped because they were never important enough to keep carrying. Here's the action I promised. Take one sheet of paper and write down every open loop you can think of. Don't organize the list while you write, just empty it out. Work, money, home, health, family, messages, decisions, conversations, anything your mind keeps checking. Then mark every item with one of 4 words. Do, schedule, delegate, delete. Do means the next action takes less than 10 minutes and you can finish it now. Schedule means it deserves a real date and time. Delegate means someone else can own the next step, but you need to hand it over clearly. Delete means you're choosing consciously not to carry it anymore. For every item you keep, write the next physical action. Don't write, fix my finances. Write, open the latest bank statement. Don't write, sort out my health. Write, call the clinic at 10 tomorrow morning. Don't write, deal with the conversation. Write, ask for 15 minutes to speak. Then close one loop that takes less than 10 minutes, not because it's the most important thing on the page, but because you need to feel movement again. For the largest remaining loop, don't promise to finish it tonight. Give it a place, a day, a time, a first action. Research on unfinished goals found that making a specific plan could reduce some of the mental interference those goals create. You haven't completed the task, but your mind no longer has to keep asking when and how you'll act. A task with a place stops living everywhere. You may still be tired. You may still have more responsibility than one person should reasonably hold. You may need to reduce the load, not simply organize it, but don't call yourself lazy until you've counted what you're carrying. A man can look inactive while his mind is trying to hold work, money, family, health, and a collection of unfinished promises in the same place. You don't need more shame. You need fewer open loops. Before you go, name the one unfinished thing that's been taking up the most space in your head. Don't solve the whole thing tonight. Give it one next action. Give that action a place in time. Then let your mind put it down for now. Next time, we're going to talk about a different weight. You provide for everyone, you keep showing up, you do what's expected. So, why do you still feel like you're failing? You don't have to carry it all alone.